Good evening, Walnut Lake shoppers.
It's closing time.
The store will be closing in 15 minutes.
But the night crew still has work to do.
God, we're gonna get in so much trouble.
Because there's one last customer who isn't satisfied.
No, this creep keeps calling her. He's driving us nuts. Leave me alone.
He wants to slash their prices.
Intruder is a generic 80s slasher movie that features some pretty decent gore. It has appearances by the Raimi brothers, Sam and Ted, and it also has Bruce Campbell in a cameo appearance. They aren't featured, but the inclusion of those actors along with the gore makes for this movie to be a cult feature. I hadn't heard of this movie before, and I came across it after watching a review on Pop Culture Beast on YouTube. It looked really interesting and it had some brutal kills, so I was in. The overnight crew at a supermarket is restocking the shelves for the following day. They're a complacent crew of stone 20-somethings, the usual fare for retail. That makes the movie feel like it's kind of a Clerks meets Michael Myers type thing. The group finds out that their store is being sold off and that they might be out of a job. They also have a crazed ex-boyfriend of one of the employees running around, and a murderer seems to be picking everybody off. There's a lot of stuff going on, so who's going to survive to the end of the night? That's the question. Intruder features TV quality performances by Elizabeth Cox, Renee Estevez, Dan Hicks, David Byrnes, Sam Raimi, Billy Marty, Ted Raimi, and it also had cameo appearances from Lawrence Bender and Bruce Campbell, both of whom played cops at the end of the movie, and I like to think that Bruce Campbell was extending his cop role from Maniac Cop into this, or sort of practicing for one or the other. Most everybody who was in this movie would go on to do a lot better things. This movie served as a stepping stone for a lot of people's careers. I really appreciated the brutal nature in which the killings took place in this movie. The bandsaw scene is one that sticks out in my mind the most. It's really visceral, it's grody, it's really hard to watch, and unfortunately the plot doesn't hold up as well as the killings. So the plot starts to fall off a little bit and become a little flat. It starts to wander into generic slasher territory where it doesn't take any original dips or turns. In fact, the filmmaking is really great because Scott Spiegel, the director, since this was his early feature, he really wanted to experiment a bit. So there's a lot of cool experimental shots, but they seem a little too early, a little too weak. He's definitely going to hone his craft. Scott Spiegel is an acclaimed director by now, but it just comes off a little cheap and a little poorly executed. Sometimes the shots try to be clever, like I said. There's a scene in particular where they shoot from inside of a telephone, which is kind of cool. But if you think about it, it's really unnecessary. It's just an unnecessary shot that didn't need to happen. This movie would have done a lot better if it was a lot more straightforward. Plus, if the trailer and the poster for the movie didn't spoil it, that would have been great too. But I came into this movie spoiled, and I hadn't even heard of it before. That's the worst part. This movie was made by Phantom Productions. Phantom Productions had come to us with some time-honored classics as Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death. That's an actual movie starring none other than Bill Maher of Real-Time fame. They also did Dr. Alien and this film, Intruder. All those movies look like garbage, including this one. That's why they were all right up my alley. That's why I watched these movies. So, overall, Intruder was a pretty generic slasher. I found the movie to be following a trend that it was set in the decade before it, definitely following in the 80s trend. The killings were pretty brutal, but they had a diminished quality to them. they were really great, and it was really hard to watch some of the scenes, but it was lacking something, and I couldn't put my finger on just what it was. It would be way too much for younger viewers to see this movie, but the older teens and people who are big fans of horror would definitely love it. It's going to be right up their alley. I liked it a lot because I work in retail, so I could actually take a different approach to this film. I could actually look at it from a different angle, and I appreciated that side of it all. The 20-somethings that were working there were appropriately frustrating, so I had that same feeling that I get when I'm at work, which was annoying. I just couldn't shake, again, how generic and unenthusiastic everything felt. It was really annoying. But when it wanted to turn up the heat, I feel that it could. The movie has potential, and that's sad to say for a movie from 1989, because it's not going to get any better. It's only going to be what it is. If you want to see a good movie, or something that would be kind of in the same realm as this film, but better, I would highly suggest movies like Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer. I would suggest Maniac. That's another good one. But movies that would be just like this, watching back to back in a marathon sort of format, Popcorn and Slumber Party Massacre, I think, would be two of your best bets. Those movies are corny as hell, and they would fit the bill right alongside Intruder. Hey guys, I apologize for there not being a video of me while I'm doing this review. However, I will hopefully be getting back to doing some of those in the near future. I'm looking for a new camera, and I'm also looking to set up a new area to film in. Just the stark white background of my living room doesn't really set the scene for a horror movie review site. I've also set up RottenPop.com. Go ahead and check out RottenPop.com. You can see all of my old reviews that I've written on there, the new ones that I'm still working on. I think I just finished Mr. Sardonicus by the time that I put this video up. I'm also working on a couple of different art projects. I'll be featuring those on RottenPop.com. And I'd love to hear from you guys. So if you've seen Intruder from 1989, please comment below. Let me know what you thought of it. Let me know what you think of these reviews, and if you'd like to see anything different from them. This is Sid. I'm with RottenPop. Watch more horror.